Being selfish is it's trash. It's overrated. So many people nowadays are very self-centered, but I think there's true freedom in thinking of yourself, comma, less. And I think more people, especially at Penn State, should be more giving, caring for others versus just their own needs and their own passions.
Cameras rolling,
Let's
timer's
go.
going.
Timer
This is
camera.
this is episode 2 of the pod.
Let's go. Let's
going.
go.
Let's do a quick introduction, eh?
Quick introduction, Juan Faura, senior, studying finance. Really excited to be here. I mean, in an aesthetic room like this, can't beat it.
Michael Jaroh, Penn State men's gymnastics. Just hit the senior debut yesterday. We are back in town. Super stoked to be here and back in the swing of things. Yeah, and we're here. So
Let's go. Justin Leusner, Jr., studying corporate innovation and entrepreneurship.
That's huge. Yeah, my name's Mason, industrial engineer. Yeah, just excited to be here again. Like I feel like all of us right here in this room are involved in like multiple things and high level like students. I feel like we do college differently. That's like at the end of the day. So, what inspired you to start?
I would probably say, honestly, just when I got to Penn State, seeing kids that I looked up to and like how they were involved, and so I wanted to do that myself. And like really just try to be different, and just try to get involved because that's what I kept hearing is get involved, get involved, get involved, and I love that because it fires me up. So that's what inspired me to start is just get to meet new people.
Honestly, like I did a whole like first fall here, like just in, like every other student. Like I was just going out. Still do go out, but either way, like I didn't really do videos. I didn't really like network the way I do today. I don't really add value to anyone besides like just being present. So I feel like over winter break, I just realized, hey, like you could do whatever you want, like with whoever you want. So just, right?
yeah, you gotta take that step. Something you said was like there's a right. I know we've talked about this before. There's like a right way and a wrong way to do college, and like you said, we all do college differently. And I think there's a right way for each person to do it and a wrong way for each person to do it, And it's a very interesting topic because there's 50,000 people here, right? How many people are doing it right and how many people are doing it wrong? That doesn't really matter. But like, what do you think like makes someone doing it right? I know we're talking about the networking and like taking advantage of your opportunities, but like, what's something like everyone at State College can just like take that little like piece of advice and that helps them do it right for them? Like, what do you guys think?
Stump me on that one. I don't know. I think
It's
I like
interesting,
what,
right?
I like what you said.
Yeah.
You're here to provide value to others.
Yeah.
Because the number one thing I hear right now is like, is college worth it? It costs so much money. Like, what do you get out of it? I'm like, that is true. And I'm like, not saying there's a wrong way and a right way to do college. I'm saying
Yeah.
to make the most of your opportunity. Like, there's a way to maximize opportunities. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, like I do everything just to maximize opportunities. It's simple. Like,
Right.
why talk to the random person at Starbucks? Because
Yeah.
there might be an opportunity out of it.
Yeah.
And like, hey, they don't so they don't want to talk. Hey, that's what's the loss in that situation?
Nothing.
I agree.
Yeah, you didn't lose anything.
You know, there's
Yeah.
I think,
I like that.
I mean, Justin can speak more to this, but I think when you asked the question, what's one thing they could take? Finding who their inner self is. So if that's leaning into faith a little bit, I know I started really trying to do that, in July. He introduced me. Maybe you can speak on that.
Well, I want to hear you talk more about that. Where are you at right now in that?
Well, quick background, I went to Catholic school for 7 years in grade school, grew up Catholic my whole life. And as I got to high school, I started to not feel as associated with it anymore. So then getting to college, first 3 years, never touched church. And then, this past summer, I got introduced to non-denom. And I don't know, I related a lot to what they were saying. So now, and Justin can speak to this, the amount of people we've brought to church from the clubs that we're involved in, I think is interesting.
That's cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this morning was crazy. We had like 9 people come to the first service and another 2 come to second, all from like the Reach and Today Sports
Yeah.
Network. It's crazy. And people are just so lost on campus. And I love especially bringing some of the freshmen because they just got here. I remember how lost I was as a freshman. I know you kind of alluded to that. But having people like to find a true community that actually cares for them, because the Penn State community, in my opinion, is very exploitative. People are here to lead you astray just for a fun night or 3, and they're not really here to care about you or your future, your career, even your soul to get deep. So I'm super encouraged by bringing these young guys and girls to find something that they can actually find meaning in.
Wow.
I think the most thing is like non-denominational, just like practicing in that way is like the best thing that happened to like Christians, especially in our generation, because I like raised Catholic, raised Lutheran, like it's a lot of like hymns and stuff I can't really connect with, to say the least, right? And I feel like non-denominational, especially the people getting up in front of you, are almost like you can relate to them. They're not really wearing a robe, like because like even like see a Catholic priest. Like nobody in the church really lives like that priest. So how can you really relate to that?
Ooh.
Like non-denominational, the
I think-
person that goes in front of you is you, in a way.
So I think Orthodoxy is even more traditional, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, we circle around the church with our candles. Like there's a lot going on. I think that's almost the point of it. Like we're not supposed to be able to relate because he's doing it so right and we're doing it so wrong that we're supposed to feel uncomfortable when we go there. We're supposed to feel different,
I like that take.
And so like, I think that feeling of like, why do I feel disconnected? It's almost like, yeah, dude, empty yourself a little bit more. We need to fast more from like the world we're in, because like you said, like there's people like it's exploitative. People are like trying to pull you all these different ways, and it's like they don't even realize they're doing that. They don't even realize they're doing something wrong by doing that, because they're lost themselves. So at the end of the day, like I think going and putting yourself in that uncomfortable position where you're like, why can't I relate? Well, like, yeah, you got to find that out, but only you can find that out,
That's a really good take.
Thanks.
That is good.
Thanks.
I'm kind of speechless on that one.
Yeah, I don't know what to say either. I'm like, wait a minute. I gotta find something else now.
Yeah, sometimes like the late night talks, like even like sometimes could even be better than church. Just a couple buddies like talk about what you believe in.
Yeah, bro.
One thing I want to bring up is, why do you feel so many kids though when you talk about late night talks and what they believe in? Why so many people are like, if you don't believe in what I believe in, like it's almost like this polar opposite of like, you can't associate with me or you can't be my friend. I'm a big believer of like, if you're a Muslim, Catholic, you believe one way about politics or not, why can't we have just open dialogue? Like people just almost like get shielded by it. And like, I just believe in being vulnerable and then having the grace to actually listen.
I have friends with like in every religion too, but you hate to say not at the end of the day, but it is it's easier to connect with people you're in religion.
Well, of course.
And a little like just like us, for example, But I'm not saying anything bad about other ones, but I totally you gotta respect everybody, and I don't understand why there's a lack of respect, especially on college campuses.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've seen, like at least with myself, diving deeper into faith, I found like the deeper I went, the more it was easy to be proud of it, but I started fearing that I would become too prideful of my faith. And I think that's the biggest issue. Like everyone has like, if they're doing it right, they're like super prideful. Like I'm doing this right. Everyone else must be doing it wrong. It's like, you're still doing it wrong. Like I think if we all understand like how wrong we really are, then it becomes like super easy to just be like, hey, you believe this? Like, let's just have a conversation about it, Rather than like, no, you're wrong. Like, I got to prove myself right. It's like, no, that's actually what it's not about, So I think that's the hard part about religion, is because like we're told it's the truth, and it is, but like when you don't take everything into account, then it's like you get off.
How being religious how's it helped you in through college? Honestly, that's the biggest.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I didn't come in going to church. Like I came in not going to church at all. I went to church when I was young, but then I found the church that I go to now, Holy Trinity, this summer. It was a weird experience. Like we were out with the teammates one night, and then I kind of realized we needed a culture change a bit, and I was like, what should I do? And I was like really just like conflicted. I was like, how can we change this? And I was like, oh, I need to change. I was like, let me just go to church. Found the Orthodox church, went there, and ever since then, everything kind of shifted for me. So,
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like
I really respect that. How
Thanks.
do we change? And it starts with you as the leader.
It starts with you. Because, like, if you're trying to change a group and you're trying to change from inside the group, you're of the group instead of just being with the group. That's like the Bible. It's like saying, like, we should be in this world, not of this world, So, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, I love that verse.
Thank you. Yeah.
think
I love that verse too, bro. It's like it's hard. It's hard to
Yes.
do that, especially somewhere like Penn State.
I was about to say Penn State's a tough place.
Yeah.
For that.
Definitely reminded me like who you hang out with who you're friends with and you hang out with college. It matters more than people think.
Yes.
Like by senior year, especially say this for myself, like I hang out with the people I want, and that's the best thing. Like the freedom of like connecting with the best people, the best friends.
Yeah.
And like finding, like you have to find your friends.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't expect them to just come up one day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you have to hunt
true.
for people that you're gonna relate to and you can hang out with and just have the greatest moments and memories.
Yeah.
That's why you got to open up, in my opinion. I think too many people are so shielded because they're afraid of being hurt. I get it. There's got to be some level of protection, but I've always been an advocate for, like, I'm going to tell you all my problems. I'm going to just be open. That's just me personally. I'm not saying that that's the right way, but I feel like when I have that sense of vulnerability, then that person I'm trying to relate with, they have a level of respect then because they're like, okay, they trust that I'm being open, so I'm not PRing myself because I did that for 2 years. PR the hell out of myself. Yo, I'm doing blah, 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 blah. Okay, and what's the other side? Can't wake up in the morning because you're too lazy, you know? So now you be open about like, yo. Boom.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know if that made any sense.
No,
but-
it did. I feel like it's easy to have like a bunch of highs and lows. I mean, especially if you're talking about like your great things all the time, then it's easy to all of a sudden take like a small loss and like be like super down on it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're open about it,
Yeah.
then you're less likely to feel that. You'll feel it, but you won't be affected by it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Which is good.
But what you said with PR,
I feel a lot of people do that.
I try to, myself too. Like try to never talk about stuff I'm going to do. I always talk about stuff I did.
Justin like that one.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like-
hard.
Like, because you especially get stuck in the moment where I go, oh, I'm about to do this, that. It's like, dude, it doesn't happen until you do it. Like,
Yeah.
And like, you can seem really cheesy if you're just gonna talk about things that never happened yet. When you're like real and like, oh, when you answer the question when people ask how's it going, I feel like that makes a difference instead of just good.
Add to that,
Wow.
Justin. I need to hear that.
That was nice. I like that.
I love
Mason
podcasts.
spitting over here.
Spitting bars.
Yeah, Juan was cracking up during that. Tell him why.
Just because like that, I feel like I've been at that stage of like, yo, I'm about to do blah blah boom, and like even if it happens in that scenario, it's still like the point of like,
Dude, I've done it. Like everyone.
because I feed off the dopamine. Now we're using terminology buzzword, dopamine. I feed off that feeling of like telling somebody because then they're like, oh. But guess what? Nobody cares unless it actually happens.
Yeah.
So
There's something about building it up inside of you too. If you speak about it too much before you did it and you say like it's just
Yeah.
gonna go this way, all of a sudden you feel like you already did. You know?
Yeah.
That like you said, the dopamine, it
Yeah.
releases and then it's like you don't have to do it anymore.
Justin, I would love to hear maybe you talk about it, how you kind of move in sounds, because I feel like you're very good at that.
Well, I think one to add to that, if you speak about something you're planning on doing or are going to do, you get that dopamine hit, and your body treats it like you already did it. And now you're not going to work as hard.
True.
And number two, yeah, I think the Bible talks about not being prideful because that leads to self-destruction, and they say that in Proverbs. And so, to me, it's like, man, I'm no different than everyone else. I'm just a regular person. I'm a sinner. I'm in need of a savior. So there's no reason why I should be boastful about a certain amount of people that click the subscribe button.
Bro,
That makes no sense.
I gotta rap on that, bro.
No way.
Bro, I swear, bro.
Hold up, please.
I'll go no beat, bro.
Okay. You
I
don't
said,
want a beatboxer?
someone wanna spit?
on.
All these rappers talking about is money and fame. Lot of lost souls with too much pride in the name. Preaching a little lifestyle about how they win the game. The devil is a shiny trap, so never point blame. Money is cool, but what's it matter if you're sad? Being broke sounds alright if I still have my dad. No, that ain't a diss, so if yours is gone, don't be mad. I'm just grateful for my pops and the time we had. If you miss some times with pops, feel no shame. If you don't like your pops and homie, we aren't the same. I can't understand how people live without a frame with the picture of their favorite man for them to aim. One day we all grow up and live inside the photo. So be the man you wish you had, cause one day you will go. Your son will be left with the image of the man he knows. So lead him the right way, and for that you gotta show. This is real life and never was a money game. We do need the paper, but no family would be lame. Without feeling pride, we all get to share a name. Jesus is in the kingdom, and that's the greatest aim.
Ew.
Clip that.
Bro, when did you write that?
When did I write this? I think I was on the bus. I was on the bus on the way to our first meet,
But guys,
our
MJ,
first travel meet. And I
he
was
is a
just-
weapon
just
poet,
writing.
like on the down low. I read some of his stuff. He's a weapon.
Thanks.
It's fun to write.
Love
Like I
poetry.
write stand-up.
Record labels, watch out.
Like
Watch
I've
out.
gone into I'd say a year now, like stand-up comedy. So
Really?
yeah, just do it every
Let's
week.
go.
There's a stand-up comedy club. There's a couple, but
So
I
wait,
mean,
you
like,
go?
for stand-up. Yeah, I do stand-up every week.
That's
like this
sick.
Thursday night at 8:00. Just get on stage.
Okay, can
write
I?
some jokes.
Let's hear one.
What do you call a spider with 10 eyes?
Um,
Spider Man.
No, it's
That's good.
Yeah, that was good.
Usually it's stories, and you just tell like
Yeah.
punchlines during the joke, and then you end on something. Then the next joke you reference the past. It's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it also makes
Interesting.
you like think back in your past, like what's funny, like
It's like a holistic approach.
And sometimes when you're like even living in like modern time, like today, right now.
Yeah.
I look for funny moments, and like
Yeah.
it makes my life more fun. I just like stand up.
Yeah.
That's cool. No,
That's
yeah.
fire.
What goes into preparing for that?
Yeah, like whatever, like honestly, when I really pay attention when stuff is funny, like if I laugh at something, I like go my notes and just like, yeah, like let's make some jokes about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right into the notes.
Yeah, just right.
How do you balance that though with the crowd? Because you want to be like feeling them, but also be intuitive. So how do you mix those two?
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, the last time I got up on stage, I bombed. Like it wasn't really that funny. Like, and that's also part of it. You know, you just gotta fill out the crowd. The crowd I go in front of is definitely a certain way where certain jokes land better than others that wouldn't in other crowds. Like I got up at Cafe before, the bar Cafe. I did a show there. Great. I did it at P-Man's before. Again, like every crowd's different.
Yeah.
That's part of it. It's like almost like a game. It's
Yeah.
live. You know, like I never posted a video of my material, but and that's almost part of it. You know, it's just kind of in the moment.
Yeah.
It's like plays. People like plays. People like movies.
Yeah, just being present. You don't need to video everything.
I definitely, yeah.
I like that.
Don't need to video everything.
I like that.
That's cool. I like that too.
I'm a big fan of that. I don't know if you guys, this is for everybody out there. Phil Knight, when LeBron James got the all-time scoring record, you saw everybody in the front row with cameras, and the only two people that don't is Bronny and Phil Knight next to him.
Yeah.
And for Phil Knight, he's founder of Nike, so
Founder of Nike.
I just feel like being present, you don't need the camera.
I feel like that's something that I've found to be hard when we have a job that's social media.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
because I find that I do better when I'm not worried about a photo or a video. Maybe not all the time. Sometimes that video will help you a little bit, but then what happens when the video is not there? You know, are you gonna do worse? Because like now it doesn't not matter as much. You know what I'm saying? So like that goes for practice, but for competition, like, you know, you have to have that same mindset. So if you're thinking about a video, like, and like how it's gonna do online, it might get in your head. That's at least for gymnastics for me.
I agree.
So I think like being in the present for like your comedy and stuff like that, I think like it's almost like you have to have someone videoing and you don't even know they're videoing.
Yeah.
And like
that's true.
that
Someone-
makes it the
someone in the
best.
front row like recording me. I'm like, oh shit! Like, can I say that now? You know,
But-
there's that.
But like if you do, like
Yeah.
that's what makes it that much better because it's natural, you know? And like you're just there in the moment, you know, and it was captured. But I feel like when we're trying to capture and create, sometimes it gets a little bit off like what we would have normally done, you know?
I think the best part about cameras and videos is like some of my best videos are just like unlisted videos on YouTube where me and my boys or like friend group goes on a trip. I vlog the whole thing,
Yeah.
everything, you know, like I did a
Yeah.
couple last semester. We go to Ohio State, camera with me the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just like part of it. You know what I mean? It's like part of like, I'm just so used to having a camera around everywhere I go and just like the memories it makes. I think that's like the most important, valuable thing about it, like videos, just the memories. I look back and just like one of my favorite videos I ever made is 22 minutes long. Me and my boys went the senior trip. We drove out to Colorado from Pittsburgh, like 28 hours, however long that takes.
Oh my god.
And it's like road side by sides and quads over like Taylor Park Reservoir for like the whole week. And like, I just took videos the whole time.
Yeah.
You know?
Fire.
I think that's the hardest thing though that I find is like when I don't have it, I'm like I have done the best gymnastics I've ever done these past 8 months.
True.
But most of it's not on video, which kind of sucks, you know. But it doesn't really matter because like the true thing that matters is what happens at the competition. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. It's weird. I think taking that approach where you always have the camera is great. It gets a little taxing.
What do you do, Justin, as a content creator of Today's Sports? Because your whole business is surrounded around making content. So, like, if there's no content, there's no Today's Sports.
Yeah, I think the purest form of content creation is just pure documentation, like you said, where you're documenting experiences instead of having to forcefully create and think of things to do, versus if you're already doing it and documenting that authentic journey, because the audience can see through that.
Yeah. I do agree with that. Like, I think everything, it should be like an additive, you know? I'm trying to like relate this to something. I say the same thing with alcohol a lot. Like, if your night's alcohol, like, you're in the wrong. But like, if you're doing an activity and alcohol's involved, then like it could be okay.
I
Like,
see.
you know what I mean?
Could you give an example of what you mean by the second one? Like an activity with alcohol?
Like, you're going skiing, right? You know, you take a couple fireball shooters and like you're having fun, but you're going skiing. Versus you're just sitting around in an apartment just drinking, and like I just think alcohol is like, I'm not a big fan of it personally. I think it ruins a lot of people, a lot of dreams, a lot of creativity. But at the same time, it can make moments better and make people closer, make people more emotional. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen the good and bad effects of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know you don't drink.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. But the physical, like, everything reasons.
it's not good for you. It doesn't make me feel good the next day. So like I choose to not, for the most part. I'll drink occasionally. Now we're in season, so there's no time to drink.
No, yeah.
And like something I've really realized now that I'm a senior is like our time here on Earth is so minuscule. You know, to make a wrong decision, especially like my time in college is even smaller than my time on Earth. You know what I'm saying? To make a wrong decision, it's like, and when you know it's a wrong decision, like why?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have
That's valuable.
like I don't know. I think for me, I've always thought about, you know, I got this goal in the future. It's like I got to be ready for that day. It's like the only way to be ready for that day is to be ready now, you know? Which is like some people would take that as like, oh, I'm not ready. Like I'm done. It's like, well, just like switch some things up and get ready. But like, I don't know. Alcohol doesn't help that.
I agree.
Justin, anything on that?
On alcohol?
Yeah.
Well, do you guys think we have an alcohol problem at Penn State?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that without a doubt, people drink more than they should be drinking.
Yeah.
Like that's.
What's the motive behind it?
Football games?
Yeah.
Well, the motive behind it is to bring people together. That's like the motive behind everything.
I think some people also do it
Yeah,
for
a lot of-
disassociation, but
For what?
Disassociation.
Can you maybe explain further what you mean by that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, like that's why most people do all drugs. It's like it brings you out of reality and puts you in this new world. I mean, it's
fair.
pretty simple.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but let's talk about more positive stuff.
Yeah.
Let's all talk about the greatest successes we could speak on. You know, something that like,
Start with
where you, like
Justin.
there was a moment in your life where you're just like wow, like I reflect, like almost a reflective kind of.
You start. You
Put me
have
on
to.
the spot.
Yeah.
Say that again. Greatest success.
Yeah, like euphoric, like like something that you could say it's a great success. Like, oh, it's a success.
I'd say like what he's saying is like not only like material earthly success, but what felt like the most success to you,
Yes.
like personally. You know what I'm saying?
Not like a job.
Not like I made the most money doing this. Like this felt really good because you know what I'm saying.
I do, but I don't know if I've ever felt something like that where it's ultimate success. I mean,
Not like ultimate success. I would say like more of like it gave you more than just like surface level success.
Yeah.
It gave you some internal feeling of like, oh, I'm super proud that I got that done.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, to me, this is obvious. Drawn probably knows it's got to be when I, stopped living for myself and started living for something greater, and that was submitting my life to Jesus.
Yeah.
Easily. And that was senior year of high school.
Awesome.
That's absolutely.
That's really hard.
Justin, can you drop your favorite Bible verse just because it fires me up?
I'm I'm like memorizing 5 right now, but I'll say my all time is probably James chapter 1, verse 2-3. It says, "Dear brothers and sisters, rejoice in all trials, because when your faith is tested, you have an opportunity to grow and be made more like God and be made more perfect in your endurance." I kind of botched that last part, but
Nice.
something like that.
That's fire. That's
Yeah.
fire.
What's yours, Mike?
Greatest success. I would say The greatest success like I've ever felt. Oof, dude, it's tough. Cause I want to say something about gymnastics, but I also don't. You know.
I can see that.
Skip me for now. Let me keep thinking.
Not caring about what people think, as in holistically. I care about what people that are close to me. I care about their opinion, but like outside noise, getting over that hump is something I'm actually really proud of, because like for 85-90% of people, I don't care anymore what they think. Dude, I'm in the hub making videos like, bro. And like I used to be so insecure about it. I used to have to call people my freshman year and ask them if my outfit looked good for that day. That's how insecure it was. I'm being dead serious. I'm not trying to make that sound
I
cool.
agree with that,
It
but
was bad.
I do still care what I think.
I care what
do
certain people think.
I care what almost everyone thinks of me, and I feel like it is important. I really care about my reputation. I do. I want.
I mean,
everyone to-
Like for everybody, you're
No
saying?
way.
yeah, honestly, and
I
like
mean-
honestly, I was going to talk about one of my great successes.
Go ahead.
It was actually at champs, and like somebody I didn't know approached me, and just was like thanking me for like, I don't know, like, cause I always see it as like all these videos, like I say Cedar State, even like PSU Barstool a little bit, and like all this stuff we're doing, all these videos and all these like memories I captured, like almost as like documenting Penn State and adding to the culture. And she just like is like, what you're doing for our college and like how you make me feel through your content is like just keep doing what you're doing. It's someone I didn't know, and that's like, because again, like everyone cares, like people that are friends with you wanting to say that, and this person is a total stranger like comes up to me and says that. I feel like that's when I realized like, hey, what I'm doing is like bigger than just me, you know. I guess living for other people is like sometimes people need, care about ones around them. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's about yourself, but at the same time, like everyone can add value to everybody, and digital
Agree.
media is the best way because you can affect people without even seeing them in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
I think kind of going off that, and then I'll get to like a success story. But like you said, you care about what people think, but I think that's actually a really good thing,
I do. Yeah.
because like if you didn't, then how much differently would you treat them or like act around them? You know what I'm saying? So I think it is super important, because maybe you're inspiring people by the way you're living. You know, I think creating a personal brand, some people try and make it about like certain things that's not really their lifestyle. And creating a personal brand, it's really just about making like an attractive, very good lifestyle that's worth living. You know what I'm saying? And that people can take like advice from and be like, yeah, I want to live like that, you know? And like when you do care what they think, you're gonna put yourself on this, okay, and like you have this like integrity to just do things the right way, you know? And I think it's good.
How do you not, a question for you, how do you not then make sure you cross the line of then living for them? Or, because like I care about what close people, like the people close to me, but like how do you make sure you're not living for someone else where then it eats you up? You know, like we're talking about content a lot, but like I'm making these videos because they like it and it's inspiring them, but in deep down I hate making those videos.
Delete Snapchat.
I could even like talk on this a little bit. Like we both interview people a lot. One of my biggest pet peeves is making people like, if I make someone uncomfortable in an interview, it just like it hurts me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I like hate to make people like ask them to do an interview. You can't really tell if they want to do it. They say yes.
Yeah.
You start asking questions, and they just like, it just bothers me. Even if I'm on the
Yeah.
recording side or the interviewing side, it just I want to make people feel good at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like sometimes I won't even do interviews like for the day because I just don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable because everyone's worried about their own social media image. You know, like
Right.
they don't know. Like honestly, I record something for an interview. They don't know they're like thousands and thousands and thousands of people are going to see them.
Yeah.
Right. Especially for
100%.
a Barstool video. Like they don't even know what they're signing up for half the time, and they might be a little drunk. You
Yeah.
know? So I had to say that.
What's your greatest success?
Greatest success, I want to say was this past NCAA's at Rec Hall. I All-Americaned, and I mean, it wasn't really that I All-Americaned. It was more that it was my grandpa's birthday, my grandpa's 100th birthday. The day before was my first time competing since Winter Cup, which was when I got my 7th concussion, which was 7 weeks prior. And I was kind of in the mindset that, you know, I'm just super grateful that they're putting me out to compete, because 2 weeks before that, we weren't sure if I was ever going to do gymnastics again. And then I kind of just trusted. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to believe that. I'm just going to believe that it's going to work out. I don't know how, but I'm just going to follow what they're telling me to do and do it. And then I pulled up day 1, nervous, hit the routine, we qualified for day 2. And that night I was like, dang, like, I don't know if I can win. I'm doing a really easy routine, but I can definitely get a trophy tomorrow. So I wasn't really thinking about the trophy as much because I was like, you know what? None of that matters. Grandpa gets to see me do my routine, and Grandpa's always wanted to see me compete. So for me, I'm just like super grateful that I get to share this day with my grandpa. I get to do this routine for him, and that took everything off. Like, took all the pressure off me. I was empty, fully empty. It was, I walked up, I'm just smiling, chalking up, and usually I'm a little bit nervous in my head, like super serious, and I'm like, you know what? Like thank God, like I'm praying the whole time, and I'm like, Grandpa's watching. Like, I know Grandpa's watching. So I salute, I look down, I say, happy birthday, Grandpa, and I do the routine. It felt like I didn't do anything. I land the dismount, and I'm like literally feel like I didn't do anything. You know, it's like one of those flow states where like it feels like something took over your body, and then, which is like, it's really hard to like explain that feeling. I felt it a couple times, but I just let it happen, and it happened. Waited till the end of the meet, got my 8th place trophy, was super happy. But that was just, I don't know, it was cool doing it for something that wasn't for me, wasn't for my team, wasn't for anything I could see. It was just for like the joy of, you know, I get to do this, you know? And I think that was the greatest success I've ever had.
I love that because you make your own successes at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You're in control. But I'd like to end it on that note, guys. Like, thanks for coming. Great podcast. Bro. I love this.
Yeah, man. That was sick.
Oh my goodness.
But I feel like we could talk for like 3 more hours.
At least.
That's awesome. Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks, Mason.
Let's go.